Hello Aries, welcome to your lunar node reading. Now Aries, the lunar nodes are shifting on the Aquarius Leo axis, which is your 11th and 5th house axis. So the experience over the next 18 months, or the shift, changes, transformation that you will experience over the next 18 months will be on this axis. So you can expect some sort of movement from personal validation to more collaborative vision. So 11th house becomes the area of growth for you, and 5th house becomes the area of release for you, Aries. Now the goal obviously here is balance at the end of the day. You're combining Leo's heart and strength with Aquarius's vision. Now, South Node will be in your 5th house and North Node in your 11th house. Now, 5th house rules self-expression, creation, procreation, children, pleasure, romance, dating, recognition, personal passion, joy, pride, and all that. So here there will be some sort of release or depletion in your experience of 5th house. So how you approach creativity, your passion, what your heart desires, how you approach romance, dating, children if you have any, all these will go through a shift. Now, any relationship or romance based mainly on attention, validation, or even drama will reach a crossroad. Here with the South Node in your 5th house, they may complete their purpose. Now, some obviously will evolve and become more mature and something greater, while others will be released because they have served their purpose in your life, Aries. So you may realize that being liked is not the same as being truly seen. Now, 5th house is also the house of approval. It's a house of shining your personal light. So here there can be a tendency to seek approval, validation, because you're expressing yourself. So it's important to become aware of where you have been seeking praise, approval, admiration, and all that. Now, South Node in the 5th house asks you, who are you when nobody is watching, Aries? This can be a very humbling yet a very liberating realization. Now, obviously, the main theme of 5th house is creativity, self-expression, your passion, your personal passion, your talents, your skills, and all that. So here, old creative identities may end. For example, a hobby, a passion project, or a dream you have. So any past passion may naturally fade away during this 18 months period. Now, this isn't lost by any means. It's only making room for something more aligned with your future, Aries. Now, obviously, all transits comes with shadow side, the challenges and all that. So here with South Node in your 5th house, what you are being cautious of is needing attention, ego battles, feeling overlooked, seeking validation, and all that. So it's very important to avoid drama over the next 18 months and not just be totally focused on your own contribution, because you're shifting to the North Node in Aquarius in your 11th house energy. Now, 11th house rules community, social circle, friendship circle, your vision, hopes and wishes, your aspiration, alliances, and all that. So with the North Node in your 11th house, your destiny or your growth comes through 11th house matter. Now, this is going to be your growth path for the next 18 months. Your soul is moving towards community, networking, friendships, collective causes, long-term goals, social influence. Destiny comes through people, Aries, not by being by yourself or shining your own light. You're collaborating and you're fitting in over the next 18 months. Now, 11th house is a house of alliances, acquaintances, like-minded people. It's about finding your tribe. So that's what you're trying to achieve over the next 18 months. This is one of the strongest periods of your life for attracting important friendships, mentors, collaborators, professional allies, and all that. Some connection may feel strangely fated as well during this time, because lunar nodes has that fateful energy to it. So here people enter your life who help open doors for you for your future. Here, whatever happens, whatever connection comes through during this time may feel unusual because it's an Aquarian energy after all, but it will be life-changing as well. Now, Now, 11th house is the house of hopes and wishes, dreams, aspirations, vision, and all that. So you may stop thinking in terms of what do I want this year and begin asking what do I want my life to become going forward. So your long range planning becomes essential during this time. This is not about quick gains. This is not about short-term gratification. This is long-term vision. So that's very essential that you're focused on that going forward. Now, the challenges with the North Node in the 11th house will be emotional detachment, because Aquarian is an air energy. So this can bring emotional detachment as you connect with, your alliances, friend circle, social circle, community, and all that. So just be mindful of that. And also, because it's an air energy, there can be overthinking. You may disconnect from feelings, more be focused on logic. There can be excessive rebellion as well. So just be mindful of becoming a rebel without a cause during this time. Also, there can be tendency to avoid vulnerability as well. So just be mindful of these energies as well over the next 18 months, Aries. Now, Aries, this nodal shift on the 5th house and 11th house axis teaches that success doesn't always come from doing everything alone. The greatest opportunities may emerge through communities, friends, organizations, shared mission, shared vision, and all that. Here, now Aries, you naturally enjoy independence, but here you are being called to combine your energy with others to achieve a purpose, to achieve a goal. Now, this lunar node shift can have a major career impact as well. Now, it is not in your 10th house, but it's in your 11th house. Now, 11th house is the house of professional gains. 10th house is the house of profession, but 11th house is the house of gains from your profession. So here, professional networking, audience growth, social media expansion, community, leadership, group projects, all that will contribute to your career growth going forward. So who you know becomes more important than what you know, Aries. Now, 5th house, where the South Node is a house of children and parenting as well. So here there can be some sort of shift in your dynamic with your children as well. There can be greater individuality. The children may need greater individuality during this time and more freedom as well. So controlling the outcome is not the best way forward during this time. This is time to give children more freedom in terms of their thought and what they want to achieve and all that. During this time, children may also become a catalyst to new social circles as well, new communities and future goals as well. So your 5th house, which is the house of children, may affect your 11th house matter, which is your future aspiration, goals, and your connections as well, Aries. So here at the end of the day, you're shifting your energy from personal validation, personal gratification to a greater cause, greater vision, greater mission in life, Aries. Thank you. Hello Taurus, welcome to your lunar node reading. Now Taurus, the lunar nodes are shifting to the Leo Aquarius axis, and this is an 18-month cycle. So for the next 18 months, you will experience transformation, changes, massive shifts on this axis. Now, Leo is your 4th house and Aquarius is your 10th house. So this is the house axis that is in focus for you. South Node will be in your 4th house and North Node will be in your 10th house. So your destiny is moving towards public achievement, leadership, connecting with your life purpose, ambition, goals, and all that. And you're moving away from old family patterns, old family narratives, emotional attachments, and you're ready to release all these energies. Now, 10th house becomes your area of growth, while 4th house is your area of release. Now, the goal obviously at the end of the day here is finding a balance. This is a major career life direction shift transit for you, Taurus. So your public image, your reputation, how you come across, how people see you is shifting. So do not play safe during this time. Build something meaningful going forward. Now, South Node will be in your 4th house in the sign of Leo. Now, 4th house rules home, family, parents, childhood conditioning, emotional foundation, ancestral patterns. So here during this nodal cycle, unresolved family karma will come to the surface for it to be released. Now, fourth house is the house of family dynamics. So here you may become more aware of patterns such as seeking family approval, living according to family expectations, carrying emotional burdens that aren't yours, feeling responsible for everyone else's happiness. Now, South Node here will help expose what has become too familiar. You may move houses during this time, or renovate, or leave a family situation. You may redefine your family relationships as well during this time. This is great time to heal ancestral wounds, Taurus. Now, fourth house is our comfort zone. It's our emotional comfort zone. So here, any attachment, especially unhealthy attachment to familiar routines, family identity, emotional safety, and all that are up for a release, up for some sort of transformation, some sort of change. So comfort can become stagnation during this 18-month cycle. The question you're asking yourself, that are you growing or are you stuck, Taurus? Now, fourth house is the house of ancestral karma, your roots, parents, your childhood conditioning, and all that. So here there is a significant theme involving a parent. So it's important to recognize these patterns. If there are attachments, unhealthy attachment to a parental figure or a nurturing figure in your life, this is time to release that unhealthy pattern and heal going forward. You will definitely have greater understanding as you close these chapters and really step into your own self, become more independent. Old emotional stories may finally reach a completion by the end of this 18-month cycle, Taurus. Now, obviously, every transit comes with a shadow side, challenges and all that. So here you need to be cautious of clinging to the past too much. Even though these energy needs to be released, you may still cling on to it because releasing these emotional patterns may feel unsafe. But it's important that you release these energies, and you will have to release these energies, the unhealthy patterns, by the end of the 18-month cycle, because that will lead to growth. Otherwise, there can be a lot of challenges going forward. So do watch out for clinging to the past or familiar patterns, emotional dependency, codependency, family guilt, fear of leaving your comfort zone, defining yourself solely through family roles and identity and all that. So it's very important that you're not stuck in these patterns going forward. Now, North Node will be in the sign of Aquarius, which is your 10th house. Now, 10th house rules career, reputation, achievements, authority figure, public image, legacy, your personal mastery, your personal authority, and all that. So this is where your soul is being pulled to grow. This is where destiny takes shape. This is where growth occurs. Now, 10th house is the house of your reputation, leadership, and all that. So you may be asked to take on more responsibilities, become more visible, become a leader or lead a group, share expertise, pursue ambitious goals during this time. You may be put in positions or situations where you cannot stay hidden or invisible. You will have to step up during this time, Taurus. Now, obviously, 10th house is a house of career, so there can be some sort of career breakthroughs as well, definitely. This transit coincides with promotions, career changes, new professional directions, public recognition, building a long-term legacy, because 10th house is all about leaving a legacy behind. So definitely opportunities around these matters will definitely show up during this 18-month cycle. Now, it is Aquarius after all. Your 10th house is ruled by the sign of Aquarius. And Aquarius is very futuristic. It's all about innovation and all that. So here, the more willing you are to embrace new methods, new technologies, unconventional paths, and all that, the greater the opportunities will come your way, Taurus. So don't keep yourself stagnant and be open to new ideas, out of the box ideas, and all that as well. Now, during this 18 months, you are building a future, Taurus, rather than merely preserving the past. You are releasing your 4th house energy and stepping into the 10th house energy. Now, Taurus does value stability, but Aquarius encourages evolution, growth, being futuristic, stepping out of your comfort zone and all that. Taurus is about the comfort zone. Aquarius is about stepping outside your comfort zone. So you may discover that a career path or identity or ambition you once considered impossible is actually your next step forward. You don't just want success during this time, Taurus. You want meaningful success, something that you can help the society with, contribute. Aquarius is a very collaborative, collective-minded sign, so you want to contribute to make life better for others as well, to help society and all that. Now, obviously, every transit comes with challenges, so North Node in 10th house also has its shadow side with Aquarius sign in it. So you need to watch out for becoming emotionally detached and less vulnerable during this time, especially when it comes to leadership, leading a group, connecting with others, collaborating and all that. Here, don't overly prioritize status over your well-being. So don't overwork too much or be too career-minded and ignore your well-being, emotional well-being and all that. So just watch out for that. Now, Taurus, the major lesson of this 18-month cycle with Leo and Aquarius axis is a balance between security and purpose. 4th house is your security, 10th house is your purpose. So you may find family obligation competing with growth and personal direction. Here you want to create a life where both can coexist without you abandoning yourself. So the goal here at the end of the day, Taurus, is to find a balance and not abandon your emotional needs, your roots, but to grow beyond the limitation that you may have created due to your past conditioning and all that, Taurus. Thank you. Hello Geminis, welcome to your lunar node reading. Now Geminis, the lunar nodes are shifting on the Leo Aquarius axis, and this is an 18-month cycle. So for the next 18 months, starting the end of July 2026, you will experience shift on your Leo Aquarius axis. Now Leo and Aquarius is your 3rd house and 9th house axis. So this is where changes occur. Now your soul is being called to go beyond the familiar during this 18-month cycle. 9th house, where the North Node will be, becomes your area of growth, while 3rd house, where the South Node will be, becomes your area of release. Now 3rd house is the sign of Leo and 9th house is the sign of Aquarius. So this is a major karmic shift. The changes, the transformation that occurs over the next 18 months will be on this axis. So from knowing facts and being logical, you're shifting to being more wise. Also, from staying local and in your community, you are shifting to exploring the wider world. And from collecting information, messages, sharing information, from that you are shifting to becoming more discerning and find meaning in the information messages that you gain. So this is a profound awakening of your mind and spirit, Geminis. Now South Node will be entering your 3rd house. Now 3rd house is the house of your mind, your thinking, your mindset, your outlook, your communication, your speech, learning, skill set, your siblings, your relatives, your peers, your local community, daily routines, social media, information and ideas exchange and all that. So 3rd house becomes the area where you're releasing past and unhealthy patterns. So here you may become aware of where you have been trapped in mental noise, Gemini. This is the house of depletion during this 18-month cycle. Now this is a Leo house, so there's an ego attachment to your thinking, your thought process and mindset as well. So the need to always be right, constantly gossiping or indulging in distractions or information overload, all that needs to be released. Any validation that you seek through communication, conversation, or being knowledgeable needs to be released, especially if it's attached to the unhealthy side of your ego, Geminis. Now, 3rd house is the house of communication, it's the house of your speech. So the karma around your communication, speech, the words that you use what you say, how you say to others also needs to be released during this time. The third house is a house of relationship with siblings, your neighbors, classmates, your everyday acquaintances, your co-workers, peers, and all that. So all that will also undergo important developments. So some connection during this time may deepen, while others will complete their karmic purpose. Now, any old conversation during this time may resurface for closure and understanding, Geminis. Now, your third house is the Leo house, which is ruled by the sun. And the shadow side of the sign of Leo is ego, is pride. And South Node here is asking you to release this unhealthy ego and unhealthy pride that may be depleting you. Now, here you may sometimes become overly attached to personal opinions and narrative. So your opinion matters more because your ego gets involved. Now, this nodal cycle encourages you to challenge assumptions and expand beyond familiar or personal viewpoints. So you're going beyond what you think, what your experiences are, and really involving other people's thought process, viewpoints as well. Now, obviously, every transit comes with challenges. So here the shadow side of South Node in the third house is cautious of mental arrogance, needing to have the last word, constant distractions, seeking attention through opinions, and staying busy to avoid growth, Geminis. So this is your South Node in third house energy. Now, North Node will be in your ninth house in the sign of Aquarius. Now, this is the area where growth needs to occur to achieve your purpose. Now, ninth house rules higher education, wisdom, faith, belief, philosophy, publishing, teaching, international travel, foreign cultures, foreign people, life purpose, and all that. So this is where destiny is pulling you. This is where your growth needs to occur. Now, during this 18 months, it's all about expanding your world view. And this can be through mental exploration or physical exploration. Here, there will be opportunities for travel, or you may be interested in new subjects. You may encounter people with different backgrounds. Life becomes larger than your immediate surroundings. Now, ninth house is a house of wisdom. It's a house of truth seeking. It's a house of expansion, exploration. So if you embrace this energy in a healthy way, you may find yourself becoming a mentor, a guide, a teacher, a writer, a spokesperson for ideas you believe in and all that, or you may attract these kind of people in your life as well. Now, Aquarius especially favors sharing knowledge that benefits groups and communities. So this is a great opportunity to share your wisdom, share your ideas with other people for the benefit of community. You know, whatever knowledge you have, whatever skills you have gained, this is a great time to impart those skill set onto others, Geminis. Now, during this time, there will be opportunities to embrace a new philosophy of life, but that comes through releasing your limited mindset. Here, it's important to look beyond the familiar, Geminis. So one of the most profound manifestation of this cycle is a shift in worldview. You may question your true belief systems, your principles that guide your life. What future are you creating? What truths have you outgrown? Old beliefs may fall away during this time because new perspective is reshaping your direction, Gemini. Now, as I mentioned, traveling and international connection will be very useful. So destiny comes through different cultures or higher consciousness or higher education as well, learning something. And this doesn't have to be going to university and studying something. This could just be your interest in a subject where you are thinking out of the box, where you're thinking out of the box, being a little bit unconventional in how you gain this wisdom, how you gain this education and all that. At the end of the day, it's all about embracing this new way of thinking, which expands your viewpoint Geminis. So even if you don't physically travel, your mind may travel far and beyond its previous boundaries, Geminis. Now, everything comes with shadow side and challenges. So does North Node in ninth house. So here you need to be cautious of intellectual detachment, because Aquarius is an air sign. So there can be some sort of intellectual detachment, or also becoming dogmatic about new beliefs, or rejecting emotions in favor of theories and logic, and feeling superior because you have gained new knowledge. So just be mindful of all these energies. Now, growth comes through learning new systems, because Aquarius is a futuristic energy. It's unconventional, unique energy. So here technology usage is great as well. So whatever you're learning, there could be some sort of technology. You may be learning you may sign up to a new course where it's about technology, new systems. Here you are understanding how knowledge can help others as well. Independent thinking is definitely recommended during this time, and Geminis, that's not an issue for you. You are an independent thinker, or you should embrace independent thinking during this cycle, definitely, especially away from your limited narratives and all that. So you will question inherited beliefs and form your own conclusion going forward. So you're moving from any personal limited opinions towards broader truth. So Geminis, the goal here is not to abandon what you know, but to transform and embrace that know-how, that knowledge into greater wisdom. Thank you. Hello Cancer, welcome to your lunar node reading. Now Cancer, the lunar nodes are shifting on the Leo-Aquarius axis for the next 18 months at the end of July 2026. Now this is going to be a cycle of profound transformation for you, Cancer. 8th house becomes the area of growth, and 2nd house becomes the area of release. Now 2nd house is ruled by the sign of Leo for you, and 8th house is ruled by the sign of Aquarius. So this is one of the most psychologically intense nodal shift. It asks you to move beyond what you own and identify with into deeper realms of trust, intimacy, healing, and empowerment. Now, South Node enters your 2nd house in the sign of Leo. Now, 2nd house rules income, possessions, values, self-esteem, material security, personal resources, and all that. So over the next 18 months, you may become aware of where security has become a limitation, Cancer. Now, you may also discover attachments, especially unhealthy attachments, to financial control, possession, status symbol, self-reliance to the point of isolation. Now, if you're measuring worth through achievements or income or assets, possessions you have, that needs to be released during this 18 months period. Now, 2nd house is also the house of values, self-esteem, self-worth, your inner worthiness and all that. So this is a major self-worth karmic cycle as well. Here, a major theme involving redefining value occurs. You may encounter situations that reveal where confidence depends on external success, external validation and all that, and where fear of loss controls your decision making, Cancer. Now here, any scarcity mindset, any poverty mindset may limit your growth. So you need to grow beyond that. You need to realize that your true worth cannot be taken away, even with lack of financial stability. So here you are shifting your sense of worth from having material security to having emotional security. Now, this is a major financial turning point as well. Now, this does not automatically mean financial loss. Instead, it often brings changes in income, sources of income. There may be new financial priorities during this time. There may be shared financial arrangements. You may question about long-term security during this time. Now, building healthier relationship with the resources is crucial. Now, everything comes with shadow side challenges. So does South Node in the second house. Now here you must be cautious of clinging to possessions, fear of change, over identification with money, assets, possession, resources and all that, and letting pride prevent you from accepting help. Now, equating your self-worth with financial success also needs to be released with the South Node energy in your second house. Now, North Node moves in your 8th house in the sign of Aquarius. Now, this is where your destiny is calling. This is the house matter where growth occurs over the next 18 months. Now, 8th house is the house of transformation, intimacy, shared resources, inheritance, investments, debt, loans, psychology, hidden truths and all that. So here you're learning to trust others and yourself as well. So North Node in your 8th house asks, can you let someone see the parts of you that you have kept hidden? This is a powerful period of emotional vulnerability and forming deeper, meaningful connections. Now, this connection is not merely based on financial matters or financial gain. This is based on soul connection. This is based on deeper connection beyond material matters. Now, this is also a time of relationship transformation. So you may attract relationship that feels intense, fated, transformative, and deeply revealing, Cancer. Now, superficial connections will lose its appeal during this time because you're seeking, or your soul is seeking, authenticity. Now, 8th house is a house of transformation, especially on psychological level. So North Node here can lead to psychological awakening as well. So this is an excellent period for therapy, for shadow work, for spiritual healing, trauma recovery, understanding unconscious patterns. Old fears can surface during this time, not to punish you, but to heal you, Cancer. So just be open to these energies. Now, 8th house is the house of shared resources. 2nd house is the house of personal resources, and 8th is the house of shared resources. So you're moving away from being stuck in keeping money and holding money to sharing money. So 8th house governs money matter that comes through others. This can be investments, this can be business partnership, this can be spousal finances, loans, inheritances, joint ventures, all that. So here opportunities may arrive through collaboration rather than going it alone, Cancer. Now, transit can bring unconventional financial arrangements as well, or innovative ways of managing resources, because it is an Aquarius house after all, and Aquarius is a very futuristic energy. It's all about unconventional ways, unique ways, thinking outside the box and all that. So here, how you manage your money, your financial arrangements and all that goes through an innovative transformation as well. Now, obviously, North Node in the 8th house also comes with challenges and its shadow side. So here it's important to be cautious of any emotional detachment, because Aquarius is an air sign. So it can lead to emotional detachment, especially where relationship connections are concerned. So you may tend to avoid vulnerability through intellectualizing your experiences during this time. Also, there may be fear of dependency, codependency and all that. Also, there may be a tendency to overanalyze feelings instead of experiencing them. Now, the main influence of this axis, the South Node and North Node axis, is that it encourages breaking inherited emotional patterns and exploring new methods of healing and self-discovery. Now, you must learn to observe fear rather than letting it control you. Now, overall, at the end of the day, Cancer, it's all about finding a balance. So here, the important thing is to find a balance between your 2nd house and 8th house energy. So you're keeping healthy self-reliance. So you are managing your finances, budgeting, how you spend your money and all that. Be cautious of how you spend your money. Don't overindulge in all that. And also developing deeper trust and connection with others, Cancer. Thank you. Hello Leos, welcome to your lunar node reading. Now Leos, the lunar node is shifting on the Leo Aquarius axis at the end of July 2026 for the next 18 months. So this shift puts you at the forefront because it's occurring in your sign. Now the south node will be entering your sign, your first house, and north node will be entering your opposite sign Aquarius, which is your seventh house. So this is one of the most life-changing karmic cycle you can experience. Now seventh house becomes the area of growth, while first house becomes the area of release. So the universe is redirecting your attention away from yourself, which is your energy, to relationship energy. Now, this is a major relationship destiny transit. This transit will ask if you can remain yourself while genuinely sharing your life with another. This is a profound shift in how you relate to others, how you define yourself, and how you approach love, cooperation, and partnership. So, the south node enters your first house. Now, the first house rules identity, appearance, personality, personal desires, how you approach life. So, over the next 18 months, aspects of your identity may naturally fall away, especially the ones that you do not relate with anymore. Now, you may outgrow an old version of yourself, your old self-image, roles you have played, way you have tried to stand out, the need to always lead, excessive self-reliance and all that. So this energy of being independent or hyper independent will fall away over the next 18 months. Now the south node reveals where ego has become a limitation for you Leos. Now this is the end of a very personal era, very single-mindedness era. You experience major reinvention. This is a relationship turning point, definitely. So changes in appearance or style or shift in priorities or a new understanding of who you are triggers these changes. Now you may realize the version of yourself that you have been does not fully fit you anymore. This can be a very liberating cycle for you Leos. Now you're releasing this hyper independence, this lone wolf energy. You possess tremendous personal strength Leos. Now don't let your strength isolate you. Now every transit comes with challenges, so does south node in the first house. So here you need to be cautious of excessive pride, needing to be right all the time, refusing help, self-centeredness, or your decision making based on your own personal needs and expectation and not involving others, and also the need to define yourself through attention, recognition, validation, and all that. Now the north node moves in your seventh house. This is where your destiny unfolds over the next 18 months. Now seventh house rules marriage, partnership, contracts, cooperation, significant one-to-one relationship and all that. So the north node here can bring a fated relationship, a fated committed relationship for you. And this 18 months will begin an 18-year cycle within this new relationship. Now the transit brings important romantic partners, marriage opportunities, business partnership, significant clients, soul contract relationship as well. Here people enter your life who will shape your future. Now some connection feels strangely destined during this time. So this can give a soulmate energy as well Leos. Now seventh house is a house of reciprocity. It's about equality. It's about sharing and being fair minded. So here with the Aquarius energy in your seventh house, it teaches you to think outside the box, be unconventional, being a non-conformist as well where relationship matters are concerned, and definitely you're seeking equality, a balance here. So relationship thrives when power is shared rather than centralized. Leo. So you're not thinking just from your viewpoint, you're also considering other people's needs during this time. Now, seventh house has the mirror effect because it's the natural Libra energy, and Libra is about mirroring because it wants to balance things out. So, seventh house acts as a mirror during this cycle. Partners reveal strength you haven't recognized. They can be blind spots you haven't addressed, qualities you need to develop, and many of your growth opportunities arrive through other people, Leos. Now, seventh house is the house of relationship, both personal and business. So this is also can bring relationship karma to the forefront. So here, this cycle will bring major changes, transformation in seventh house matters. Your relationship can become very serious, very meaningful, very purposeful. Now, if you are in an existing marriage, that can deepen during this time, or it can evolve, or it may require significant adjustments, Leos. Now, everything comes with a challenge, so does North Node in the seventh house. So the shadow side here is that you need to be cautious of emotional detachment. Now, Aquarius is an air sign and occupying the seventh house. You may excessively seek freedom within the relationship. You may be emotionally detached. You may want your own space during this time as well. So here there may be a tendency to attract unavailable partners, especially the emotionally unavailable ones. Also you could over intellectualize relationship. You may avoid vulnerability as well in the name of independence. So just be cautious of this energy, Leos. Now, overall, this cycle of the lunar nodes on your first and seventh house axis is all about freedom within commitment. Relationships thrive when both people can be themselves. That's the Aquarius energy. Now, this cycle is about shared visions because strong relationship involves common goals, shared ideals, intellectual compatibility, mutual respect, and all that. So love becomes about growth, not ownership during this 18-month cycle. So now, at the end of the day, the goal is to find a balance and to not lose yourself, but to learn how to share yourself. Leos, thank you. Hello Virgos, welcome to your lunar node reading. Now Virgos, the lunar nodes are shifting at the end of July 2026 on the Leo Aquarius axis, and this is an 18-month cycle. So your 12th house where your Leo sign is and your 6th house where your Aquarius sign is activated. Now destiny here lies in creating a life that works, not just a life that looks good, Virgos. 6th house becomes the area of growth for you, and 12th house becomes the area of release. So the shift in focus is from retreat, endings, unconscious patterns to service, work, health, and daily action. This is a cycle of turning dreams into systems, inspiration into practice. You are making your gifts useful in the real world, Virgos. Now, South Node enters Leo, which is your 12th house. Now, 12th house rules the subconscious mind, solitude, spirituality, endings, hidden fears, hidden patterns, self-sabotaging patterns, self-undoing, retreating, withdrawing, escaping, dream states, illusions, deceptions, addictions, and all that. So here the old karmic patterns rises to the surface for release. Now this is an end of the old chapter because it's the 12th house, which is the last house of the zodiac wheel. So South Node, which is about detachment, will lead to ending an old chapter over the next 18 months period. Now this may feel like you are completing a cycle that has lasted years. You may release old grief, limiting beliefs, hidden fears, outdated spiritual identities, relationship that exists in fantasy. There can be a feeling that something invisible is coming to a completion during this time. Now, Leo rules your 12th house, so this placement can sometimes create a hidden pride, a hidden ego, within yourself, Virgos. So you may have the need for recognition for your sacrifices. You may feel misunderstood. Here you may secretly want appreciation while appearing selfless as well. So you may believe that nobody notices you, or your efforts are in vain, or nobody notices your effort, the work you put in. Now, South Node here will expose all these patterns, and it's important to release any unhealthy patterns as well in order to move forward. Now, 12th house is a house of loss. It's a house of self-undoing, self-sabotage and all that. So here, one of the biggest gift of this transit can be awareness. You notice recurring emotional loops, unconscious habits, behavior that undermine your progress. What was hidden will become visible during this 18 months. Now, everything comes with shadow side, Virgo. Everything comes with challenges. So does South Node in the 12th house. So here you need to be cautious of playing the martyr, escaping, isolating yourself, holding secret resentments, seeking validation through sacrifice and all that. Now, North Node moves in your 6th house in the sign of Aquarius. Now, 6th house rules work, health, daily routine, service, discipline, skills, problem-solving capabilities, productivity, usefulness, as your lifestyle, your schedules, routine habits, and all that. So this is the house where your growth occurs over the next 18 months. Destiny is calling you to focus on the 6th house matter. So with the North Node here, you are called to build better systems in your daily life. So it's important to organize in a way that benefits both you and others. This is an excellent period for improving routines, learning new skills, creating efficient systems, modernizing your workflow, adopting healthier habits, whether it's work habits, health habits, food habits, and all that. Small changes can produce life-changing results. So it's very important to focus on the usefulness of where you put your energy in. Now, this is a house of health. So this is also a time when you are awakened to your health issues, concerns, or habits. So there is greater awareness around your well-being, around your mental and physical health, your nutrition, workout plan, stress management, all that. You cannot ignore your body's signal anymore, Virgos. Now here you're trying to find purpose through service. So you want to help others, you want to be of service to others, you want to solve problems, you want to be dependable, you want to improve lives, improve your life and others as well. So with the North Node here, meaning and fulfillment comes through contribution. Now, it is the house of work and your work environment, your colleagues, your work conditions, your times, your shift patterns and all that. So this can have an effect on your work life, your career as well. So there can be possible changes in your job, maybe new job or better work condition, better work environment, colleagues are more cooperative and all that. Here, skill development also increases. There may be more responsibilities as well, or there may be technological upgrades in your work environment, or there can be more focus on collaborative projects, group projects and all that, because it is an Aquarian energy. So you're learning modern tools and methods which creates more opportunities going forward, Virgos. Now, the shadow side of North Node in the 6th house is there may be a tendency towards emotional detachment or becoming overly mechanical, obsessed with productivity and all that during this time. So don't treat your life like a machine and just focus on improving yourself where your mind, body and spirit are all in balance. Now during this 18-month cycle with your 6th and 12th axis activated, you are improving not just for yourself but for others as well. You are making work more efficient, You're improving systems to support your goals. There is a need for practical compatibility. During this period, spiritual wisdom means little if it cannot be lived on a daily basis. So that is your shift from 12th house to 6th house energy. So you're releasing patterns of withdrawal, confusion, and hidden self-sabotaging patterns, and you are moving towards a life of purposeful action and meaningful work, Virgos. So at the end of the day, the goal here is to keep your spiritual depth while also developing practical effectiveness, Virgos. Thank you. Hello Libras, welcome to your lunar node reading. Now Libras, the lunar nodes are shifting on the Leo Aquarius axis at the end of July 2026 for the next 18 months. Now this activates your 5th and 11th house axis. So your soul is being called back to joy, creativity, romance, and authentic self-expression, Libras. 5th house becomes the area of growth, while 11th house becomes the area of release during this cycle. Focus shifts from collective expression to your self-expression, individual expression. Your own unique spark matters more during this time. Now the question you're asking is, are you living the life you truly love or the life others expect you to love, Libras? This is one of the most heart-centered and creatively fertile nodal axis you can experience. Now, South Node enters your 11th house in the sign of Leo. Now, 11th house rules friendship, communities, networks, social circle, creative goals, social media, organizations, peer support, alliances, acquaintances, your future plans, your aspirations, hopes and wishes, and all that. So here over the next 18 months, you may outgrow certain group, certain work circle, friendship circle, or long-term dreams that you may have had. And this is not because they were wrong, but because you have evolved beyond them. Now, this is also the house of your social circle, your alliances, your friendship, and all that. So the South Node here also brings friendship karma to the surface. So here you will experience significant friendships ending or new social circles forming. Here, your new work circle changes within community. So this can mean new work circles, or you may experience changes within community, within your network and all that. There will be a realization about you, about who truly supports you. Now, some connection have fulfilled their purpose, so they may naturally fade away, while others deepen and become more authentic. Now, Libras, your 11th house is ruled by the sign of Leo. So here you may discover that you have sought validation or approval from others, from group mindset and all that, or what others think may have been on your mind. You may have needed validation from others, from social circle, friends and all that. Here you may have lost individuality within a collaborative setup or a community setup or organization or work. Within your career, you may have outgrown a certain group project or a work environment or a teamwork and all that. So here you're called to not define your work through how you fit in a community or through popularity. What you truly are trying to understand during this time, Libra, is who are you when the crowd is not watching. Now, 11th house is the house of hopes and wishes, aspirations and all that. So here some dreams, some fantasies, some aspirations may fade away. Now this isn't failure, this is refinement. You are making room for newer goals, that genuinely reflect your heart's desire. Now, everything comes with a shadow side, Libra. So does South Node in the 11th house. So you need to be cautious of any people-pleasing tendencies within group setup, or seeking popularity, or defining yourself through friendship, or following a collective trend, or just fear of standing apart, Libras. Now, North Node is moving in your fifth house, the sign of Aquarius. Now, this is where your soul wants to grow during this 18 months. Now, fifth house is a house of self-expression, creative expression. It's a house of romance, dating. It's a house of children, joy, pleasure, house of performance, your passion projects, your personal interest, your hobbies, your pride and joy and all that. So with the North Node moving in your fifth house, you are reclaiming your authentic creativity. You're not trying to fit in anymore. You are expressing your true nature, your authentic self. This transit encourages you to be original, because that's the Aquarian energy. You need to be a non-conformist. You don't need to fit in. You need to stand out. That's the fifth house energy. So it's about expressing what makes you different. You may feel called towards creative projects, maybe writing, art, performing, entrepreneurship, innovative hobbies, whatever that might be. Now, the more authentic your expression, the more magnetic you become, Libras. Now, fifth house is also the house of romance, dating, pleasure, amusement, joy, and all that. So this can be a major romance cycle as well, Libras, for you. Here, North Node can bring fated experiences. You may attract a relationship that inspire you, that helps you grow, that encourages your individuality, feels exciting and unconventional. Now, you do want freedom and authenticity within connection, because it is an Aquarian energy. So you may desire connections that is authentic, that is liberating. Now, Libras, this transit asks, what do you want? What genuinely lights you up? That's what you need to follow during this transit. Now, fifth house is also the house of children, of legacy and all that. Now, if you do have children, this can be a major theme where your children reaches a milestone, or there's some positive energy or news, growth surrounding your children. And if you don't have children, this can also mean there can be parenthood, pregnancy, childbirth and all that. Now, North Node here can also mean you're mentoring younger people as well during this time. So it could be teaching, expressing, creative expression, whatever that might be. Children can be part of the theme here with North Node in the fifth house. Now, the focus is on nurturing individuality rather than conformity during this time. And this is within yourself and the children in your life, Libras. Now, fifth house is all about shining your light. It's a natural Leo house. So it's all about being seen, becoming popular, sharing your talent, taking creative risks and all that, building something unique for yourself and others, Libra. So you are creating from an authentic space here, and that is definitely that is much needed as well, because that is what will lead to your soul growth. Now, the challenging side of North Node in the fifth house can be emotional detachment in love, or there may be fear of vulnerability. Here you may become overly unconventional, or you may intellectualize your feelings as well, Libra. So just watch out for these tendencies. So overall, this 18-month cycle of your 5th and 11th house nodal axis is all about focusing on your creativity, and creativity will flourish when you stop leading with expectations. Love and creativity thrives when there's a room to breathe. Your unusual ideas become your strength during this time. Your uniqueness becomes your gift, Libras. So at the end of the day, the goal here is to find a balance between your 5th house and 11th house energy, and stay connected to others but not lose your unique individuality, Libras. Thank you. Hello Scorpios, welcome to your lunar node reading. Now Scorpios, the lunar nodes are shifting onto the Leo Aquarius axis at the end of July 2026 for the next 18 months. So this is going to activate your 4th house and 10th house. Now Scorpios, your destiny is pulling you inward during this cycle, so you can build a stronger foundation for everything that comes next. Now, 4th house becomes the area of growth, while the 10th house becomes the area of release for you Scorpios. So the focus shifts from achievement, reputation, public success, career matters and all that, to home, family, emotional security, your foundation, and inner fulfillment. Now, South Node enters your 10th house in the sign of Leo. This is going to be all about releasing old definition of success. Now, 10th house rules career, status, recognition, achievements, public reputation, authority, and all that. So over the next 18 months, you will go through a major reassessment of your career and public life. South Node in your 10th house also brings career karma to the surface. This is a significant professional turning point. Here you're leaving a career path, a field of work. You may be changing industries, stepping down from a role, a job, a career matter, a leadership role. You may be redefining your ambition, questioning your goals, external success and all that. Now, this doesn't mean you're losing status or you're losing a career opportunity or something, or leadership opportunity. It means you're releasing ambitions or goals that no longer aligns with your soul, Scorpios. Now, Leo is the sign that rules your 10th house. So this transit exposes where you have been seeking recognition, validation, prestige, approval from authority figure. Now, South Node asks you, who are you without a title? Who are you without validation? This can be uncomfortable yet a liberating realization, Scorpios. Now, South Node here also brings a close or a completion to any performance-based living. So you may realize that you have been living according to external validation rather than inner truth. Any need to impress others lose power during this time. Now, everything comes with challenges and shadow side. So does South Node in the 10th house. So here you need to be cautious of workaholism, needing recognition, obsession with status, public image, fame, popularity, and defining your self-worth only through achievements, accolade, accomplishments, and all that. You need to release the fear of slowing down, Scorpios. Now, North Node enters your 4th house in the sign of Aquarius. This is the house matter where your growth lies over the next 18 months. Now, 4th house rules home, family, roots, emotional well-being, inner life, security, ancestral healing, and all that. So here you are building emotional security over the next 18 months. What the focus is on safety, sense of belonging, resilience, what truly makes you feel at home and where you feel at home, Scorpios. Now, 4th house is the house of your domestic matters, your family, your parents, your people you live with, your living situation and all that, your address, your home, your physical home and all that. So North Node here coincides with moving houses, buying property, renovating, strengthening your family bonds, healing family wounds, creating a more supportive home environment. Here your private life may prove to be more important than your external public life or your career matters, Scorpios. Now, 4th house is the house of roots, your childhood conditioning, ancestral patterns, generational patterns and all that. So this is a great opportunity to heal these generational traumas as well. Here you will find yourself working through any family conditioning, any childhood experiences, any generational wound. Here you are required to have fresh perspective on home and family matters. Now, everything comes with challenges. So does North Node in the 4th house. And the shadow side here, now, Scorpio, with the North Node in your 4th house, your relationships, especially the ones you live with, people around you, the ones you have an emotional bond with, comes to focus as well. Here, your need for emotional authenticity becomes important. You may become less interested in status-driven connection, surface-level interactions, and more interested in emotional safety, trust, genuine intimacy, shared values, and all that. Here, your emotions become more important than your image, Scorpios. Now, with the South Node in the 10th house and the 10th and 4th house axis being activated, there will be career implications as well. Now, this is not a career ending transit. You may become more successful during this time. Success must now support your well-being. That's the important thing. That's the important thing here. You must focus on your emotional well-being as well. Career choices should be based on quality of life, family needs, emotional fulfillment, and personal freedom, Scorpios. Now, everything comes with challenges and shadow side as well. So does North Node in the 4th house. So here you need to be cautious of emotional detachment, because 4th house is ruled by Aquarius for you, and it is an air sign. So this can lead to emotional detachment, avoiding vulnerability, feeling disconnected from family, or intellectualizing emotions and all that. Now, the main lesson of this cycle is that true power lies in emotional security, not merely in public recognition. You are moving from external validation to inner fulfillment, Scorpios. So overall, the goal here is to find a balance, and that can be achieved through keeping healthy ambitions, but also building a meaningful inner life, Scorpios. Thank you. Hello Sagittarius, welcome to your lunar node reading. Now Sagittarius, the lunar nodes are shifting onto the Leo Aquarius axis at the end of July 2026 for the next 18 months. So your 9th house and your 3rd house axis is activated. Now Sagittarius, your destiny lies in your voice. 3rd house becomes the area of growth, while 9th house becomes the area of release. The focus shifts from theories, distant horizons, and absolute truths towards communication, learning, teaching, writing, and everyday connection. The most profound wisdom is found in small details, Sagittarius. Turn your vision into something you can use on a daily basis. Now, South Node enters your 9th house. Now, 9th house rules higher education, religion, belief systems, philosophy, travel, publishing, teaching, your perception, viewpoint, other cultures, and all that. So, over the next 18 months, old beliefs may be challenged, not because they are wrong, but because you have outgrown them. Now, 9th house is the house of belief systems. So, belief systems goes through an upgrade. You may experience changes in spiritual views, perception, your worldview, your viewpoints, and all that. You may question long-held assumptions. There will be shift in your faith, in your religious orientation, or your philosophical beliefs and all that. There is a desire for practical truth over ideology. Now, South Node here asks, do you know the truth, or are you attached to the version of it? That's the South Node in the 9th house energy. Now, Leo rules your 9th house, Sagittarius. So here, this can manifest as intellectual pride, believing you have all the answers, preaching instead of listening, being attached to being the teacher, the mentor, the guide, and all that. So the soul now wants humility and curiosity, Sagittarius. Now, 9th house is also the house of exploration, expansion, travel, whether it's mental exploration or physical. So here, traveling, education, publishing, projects, legal matters, all can reach either a completion or a redirection. Now, everything comes with challenges and a shadow side. So does South Node in the 9th house. Here, it's important to be cautious of dogmatism, or needing to be right, or looking down on other viewpoints, or escaping into ideals, or over-promising during this time, Sagittarius. Now, the North Node enters your third house. That's where your Aquarius sign sits. Now, this is the house matter where your destiny is asking you to grow in. Now, third house rules communication, connections, speech, writing, teaching, learning. It rules your siblings, your neighborhood, your community, your local environment, your social media interaction, sharing ideas, sharing knowledge, daily interactions, and all that. So this is a very strong nodal placement or nodal cycle for speakers, for writers, for teachers, for content creators, journalists, education, and all that. Here you are called to share your knowledge, you are called to share your ideas and information and all that. You are becoming the messenger, Sagittarius. Now it's important to pay attention to any local opportunities, especially in daily interactions, your immediate environment, people around you and all that. There is power in everyday conversations and connections. So do engage in experience around you than seeking it from far off places. Now this is a great time to grow your skills, develop new skills and all that, because third house is the house of learning. So there will be a love for innovation and learning, definitely, because it is the Aquarius house, which is all about thinking outside the box, being unique, unconventional and all that. So you're drawn towards technology, digital communication, online education, networking, learning new languages, even social media projects as well. Your mind becomes a gateway to future opportunities, Sagittarius. Now, third house is the house of your local connection, your neighbors, your relatives, your peers, your siblings, and all that. So here there will be important growth, developments in these matters, especially involving your siblings, cousins, neighbors, local communities, and all that. So there will be a lot of opportunities through interaction with these connections. Now everything comes with challenges and shadow sides. So does North Node in the third house. So here it's important to be cautious of not becoming emotionally detached, because Aquarius is an air sign and that can lead to emotional detachment. Also, be cautious of information overload, constant mental stimulation without any depth. Also, be cautious of becoming disconnected from your intuition, from your faith, from your beliefs, and all that. Here, the main theme is that you must think for yourself on your feet rather than adopt inherited beliefs from far off philosophies. Here, your words can bring people together. They can help you connect with people as well. So do use your speech to connect with others. This is really good transit for social communication, Sagittarius. So overall, the goal here is to find a balance between keeping your wisdom, your faith, and also learning how to communicate it effectively, Sagittarius. Thank you. Hello Capricorns, welcome to your lunar node reading. Now Capricorns, the lunar nodes are shifting onto the Leo Aquarius axis at the end of July 2026 for the next 18 months. So this activates your 8th house and 2nd house. Now during this 18-month cycle, your soul is learning the difference between value and validation, Capricorns. 2nd house becomes the area of growth for you, while 8th house becomes the area of release. So the focus shifts away from crisis, dependency, emotional entanglements, financial entanglements, and shared resources towards self-worth, personal resources, stability, and building something that truly belongs to you. During this time, Capricorns, there's a need for you to stop giving your power away. Now, South Node enters your 8th house in the sign of Leo. Now, 8th house rules shared finances, debts, taxes, inheritances, intimacy, psychological patterns, transformation, power dynamics, and all that. So over the next 18 months, these are the matters where you need to release negative or unhealthy patterns around. Now, 8th house is the house of deeper connections as well, intimacy and all that. So this will bring relationship karma to the surface as well, Capricorn. Now, You may become aware of relationships that are based on codependency, control, obligations, emotional intensity without stability. Some bonds will deepen during this time through honesty, while others will complete their purpose. Now, this is also time to release any tendency towards drama, crisis, and all that. And this can be fear-based, trauma-based crises as well. So there's a need to heal these energies as well, Capricorn. South Node in the 8th house can sometime keep us focused on survival mode, because there is an energy of dependency. We are connected to other people's values, resources, and all that. There is a financial or emotional entanglement. So you may notice patterns such as expecting disaster, or being drawn to drama, or constantly managing emergencies. Here you may feel alive only when things are intense and even chaotic, Capricorns. So peace may appear as boredom, Capricorn, but it is not boredom. It is in fact strength. Now, during this 18-month cycle, themes around financial dependency may arise as well, especially around loans, debts, joint finances, social finances, financial obligations, dependency on others' resources, and all that. There is a need to embrace self-sufficiency on some level. Now, everything comes with challenges and shadow side. So does South Node in the 8th house. So it's important to be cautious of any emotional dependency, power struggles, financial entanglements, obsession with control, crisis-driven living or lifestyle, chaotic lifestyle, drama-driven lifestyle, and all that. Now, North Node enters your 2nd house in the sign of Aquarius. So, 2nd house is the house where destiny is calling you. This is the house matter where growth occurs during this 18-month cycle. Now, 2nd house rules income, assets, possessions, self-worth, value, stability, personal talents, how you sustain yourself, how you see yourself, your worthiness, and all that. So, here you are building independent wealth. Here you are developing financial stability, new income streams. You are also learning valuable skills for long-term security. Here there's a need to embrace innovative approaches as well, because it is the sign of Aquarius after all. And Aquarius is an air sign, and it is a very futuristic, unconventional energy. So here there's a need to benefit from technology and innovative approaches. Maybe an online business or digital business, media-based business, social media-based business. You are also looking at modern ways of investing, or even seeking unconventional career paths and all that. So it's good to focus on future and technology-based industries as well, Capricorns. Now, discovering your true worth is also a theme of North Node in the 2nd house. So the deepest lesson isn't financial here, it's psychological. What are you worth when nobody is validating you, Capricorn? You're learning to derive confidence from within rather than from relationship, from crisis, from external approval, and all that. Now, 2nd house is also the house of your talents, which can be monetized. So you're turning your talents into assets. You are discovering abilities you have underestimated. This cycle supports monetizing your skills, developing expertise, building personal brands, creating sustainable value for yourself. Your talents and gifts become your resources. Now, everything comes with challenges and shadow side. So does North Node in the 2nd house. So it's important to be cautious again of emotional detachment, because it is an Aquarius sign. Also be cautious of defining your worth only through money or excessive self-reliance as well. That's where there's a balance is definitely required with this axis. Also, there's a need to release any fear of receiving support as well. Now, the main growth theme with this axis is that you're adapting new approaches to earning and managing resources. You're reducing unnecessary reliance on others. You're aligning income with personal values and building wealth that supports long-term freedom. you are completely rewriting your relationship with finances and money matters over the next 18 months, Capricorn. So in a nutshell, the goal here is to find a balance between your second and eighth house energy. You're called to maintain a healthy connection, but also strengthen personal stability. Capricorns, thank you. Hello Aquarius, welcome to your lunar node reading. Now Aquarius, the lunar nodes are shifting on the Leo-Aquarius axis at the end of July 2026 for the next 18 months. So this is activating your axis, your first and seventh house axis. Now this is your karmic reset, Aquarius. First house becomes the area of growth for you, and seventh house becomes the area of release for you. This is one of the most important personal growth cycles of the next 18 years. So whatever changes during these 18 months, you will experience the consequence of that over the next 18 years. So the main question that arises during this cycle is, who are you when you stop defining yourself through other people, Aquarius? This initiates a profound reinvention of your identity, your appearance, your goals, your life direction, and all that. Focus shifts from relationships, external validation, towards self-discovery, self-leadership, and authenticity. Now, South Node enters your seventh house in the sign of Leo. Now, seventh house rules marriage, partnerships, client, contracts, significant relationships, and all that. So over the next 18 months, relationship themes become major teaching points. Now, here you may be breaking away from people-pleasing patterns or codependency. You may discover where you have been seeking approval or prioritizing others over yourself. So here, if you have been defining your identity through relationship and all that, there is a need to change that. If you have been giving away your decision-making powers, that needs to change as well. During this time, South Node in the seventh house asks you, where have you abandoned yourself to maintain a connection, Aquarius? Now, during this time, you can experience some sort of fated connection, fated beginnings, fated endings as well. Some relationships may deepen, some may transform, some may end, some may change form completely. So this is a relationship truth transit. Relationships that limit growth will be harder to maintain, Aquarius. Now, Aquarius, Leo rules your seventh house, so there's a need to be cautious of needing validation from partners, also attracting attention-seeking individuals in relationship as well. Here you may have the tendency to seek partners from an egoistic place, from a prideful place. So don't lose yourself in other people's story, Aquarius. Now, everything comes with the shadow side and challenges, so does South Node in the seventh house. So it's important to be cautious of any people-pleasing tendencies, relationship dependency, fear of being alone, seeking validation through partnership, or compromising on authenticity, Aquarius. Now, North Node moves in your first house, in your sign, Aquarius. This is a major transit for you, and this is not going to occur again in next 18 years. So last time North Node was in your sign, in your first house, was 18 years ago, and this is your time when destiny is calling you. Your soul is being pulled in this direction. Now, first house rules identity, physical body, personal path, self-image, independence, new beginnings, and all that. So this is a period where life will ask you to choose yourself, not selfishly but authentically. So do choose yourself, do put yourself first, Aquarius, during this cycle, because you are becoming, or you need to become, who you were meant to be. You will experience major personal reinvention, transformation, new goals, new ambitions, change in appearance, new interest. There may be increased independence or greater confidence during this time. North Node here in your first house definitely begins a new chapter for you. Now Aquarius, you are an air sign, and Aquarius is ruled by the planet Uranus, which is all about uniqueness, about being unconventional, being disruptive, being thinking out of the box and all that. So Aquarius here definitely promotes individuality. Here North Node energy will amplify all this as well. So here you are thinking independently, you're expressing originality, you are breaking outdated patterns and norms. You definitely want to live according to your own truth. So stop trying to fit into lives you have already outgrown, Aquarius. Now North Node in the first house comes with some challenges. So the shadow side of this transit in the first house would be to be cautious of excessive detachment, rebellion without purpose, isolation, refusing support, or prioritizing independence over intimacy as well. At the end of the day, it's all about finding a balance between your 7th house energy and first house energy. So this nodal cycle will feel like you are compelled to start something new, or change direction, or pursue a dream, or take a risk. You must develop confidence during this time, Aquarius, because life is pushing you towards authenticity. You may rebrand yourself during this time as well. You may start a business, you may become more visible, you may want to lead during this time, you may want to change your career, your goals during this time. A different version of you will emerge by the end of this 18-month cycle. This can also mean makeover, change in appearance, hairstyle, clothing, your habits, how you look, how you appear, how you project yourself as well. And this is not just physical projection, even mental projection. So this can mean physical makeover as well as mental, psychological makeover as well, Aquarius. By the end of this cycle, your outer self will start reflecting your inner evolution. So overall, the goal here is to find a balance and to maintain meaningful relationship, but also not to lose yourself within them, Aquarius. Thank you. Hello Pisces, welcome to your lunar node reading. Now Pisces, the lunar nodes are shifting on the Leo-Aquarius axis at the end of July 2026 for the next 18 months. So this activates your 6th and 12th house axis. Now this is a karmic completion cycle for you Pisces. 12th house becomes the area of growth, while 6th house becomes the area of release for you. You are entering one of the most spiritual, introspective, and transformative periods of your life. This cycle focuses on hidden, invisible, subconscious patterns. Something needs to end in your daily life so that a new chapter can begin. This is a period of sacred clearing of your soul. Now, South Node enters your 6th house. Now, 6th house is a house of work. It's a house of job, your daily routine, your habits, your health, your well-being, responsibilities, obligations, service, your productivity, your usefulness, and all that. So, over the next 18 months, you may become aware of your habits that have outlived their usefulness. This is a time when you release these old patterns. Now Leo rules your 6th house. So here the shadow side of constantly doing something, being of service or being useful needs to be released. Here you may seek recognition through work or service. Now South Node in the 6th house is asking, who are you when you are not of service? Now 6th house is also the house of your well-being, your physical, mental, psychological, emotional well-being. Here there can be a tendency towards overworking, or your working condition may not be healthy during this time, or your work environment, colleagues, there may be some sort of unhealthiness around that energy, or you may be taking on too much work, extra hours and all that, which may lead to burnout. So here you will realize that you have been operating in survival mode. The transit supports rest and recovery, healing, and all that. Here you are rebalancing your priorities. Now the soul wants restoration, not exhaustion, Pisces. Now, sixth house is the natural Virgo house. So there's a tendency towards perfectionism. There's a tendency towards analyzing, overthinking, and all that. So here there's a need to release overthinking, overworking, and all that. Any patterns around work, health, or even micromanaging your life or the life of others, or trying to fix everything from an egoistic place, needs to be released. Here, the need to feel responsible for everyone needs to go as well. The lesson here is to surrender and accept that not everything is for you to carry or for you to fix, Pisces. Now, everything comes with the shadow side. So does South Node in the sixth house. And here it's important for you to be cautious of overworking, overthinking, perfectionism, martyrdom as well, needing to feel indispensable, over identification with productivity, with fixing, with controlling things, and all that. Now, North Node enters your 12th house in the sign of Aquarius. So this is the house matter where your destiny will unfold over the next 18 months. Now, 12th house rules spirituality, intuition, dreams, solitude, detachment, retreat, healing, surrender, the unconscious mind. It also rules loss, undoing, self-sabotage, addictions, deception, illusions, and all that. So here the growth comes through slowing down rather than speeding up. Here the North Node is asking you to focus on your mental well-being. This is a call to retreat kind of energy. Here you may be drawn towards, or there's a need to, be drawn towards meditation, towards spiritual study, towards nature, therapy, healing, also spend time alone, reflect, introspect, and all that. Here there's a need to look within yourself and your patterns that are self-sabotaging, that is leading to your own undoing. So that's what you are looking into, reflecting, and eventually releasing these patterns. This does not mean complete isolation. This is just preparation. Your soul is gathering momentum, it's gathering strength for your next evolution. So these 18 months is a great time to really reflect on your own patterns. Now, you may experience heightened intuition, vivid dreams, synchronicities, spiritual breakthroughs, increased sensitivity as well. So here it's important to pay attention to what emerges from the subconscious during this time, because 12th house speaks through symbolism rather than logic. Now, Aquarius rules your 12th house, and Aquarius is an air sign. It is very futuristic. It's unconventional energy. It can be disruptive, erratic, and chaotic as well. Here the solution comes through unconventional method. Here you need to think outside the box, Pisces. So the sign of Aquarius will bring objectivity to the 12th house. You are learning that not everything needs to be controlled, Pisces, in order to be understood. Some answers arrive only when you stop forcing them. Now, everything comes with challenges and its shadow side. So does North Node in the 12th house. And here it's important to be cautious of escapism, addictions, excessive withdrawal, emotional detachment, avoiding practical responsibilities as well. So you're not completely detaching from your responsibilities and obligations and all that, but you're trying to find a balance between overdoing something and burning out, and finding a balance between rest and recovery. Now, with the North Node in the 12th house, you may also explore alternative healing methods or spiritual paths during this time. Here, freedom comes through releasing old karmic baggage as well. This is not usually the most externally ambitious nodal cycle. It is a period of behind the scene activities, preparation, reflection, planning, skills development, healing, and all that. So overall, the main goal of this nodal cycle is to find a balance between keeping a healthy routine, healthy habits, healthy work patterns, and all that, and also creating space for inner renewal, Pisces. Thank you.